Hey up everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all having a good Easter Monday and you're staying safe, staying inside, looking after yourselves. Today's video is going to be my AFL logo ranking video. Now, most of you will know that I'm a rugby league fan, but I'm also a football fan, so I'm a football fan first, rugby league fan second, and I also like the AFL. So I've been going for Richmond since 2008. But today I'm going to be ranking all the logos from best, up the top here, down to shite, and we've also got needs improvement, average and good. So we're going to get into the video now and I'm going to be ranking these logos one by one. The first logo is Nick from Australia's team, the West Coast, or as they're known by their nickname, the Eagles. So the West Coast are kind of like the Brisbane of the NRL. When they first come into the competition, they hit the ground running. They won 2 premierships in quick succession. Then they won another premiership in 2006 and another premiership in 2018. This logo is a big improvement on their older logos. I had to go back and check out their older logos. And they didn't even look like an eagle. It looked like someone riding a wave on a surfboard. It wasn't... They weren't very good logos, but this one is definitely an improvement. It's got the yellow and the blue, which are the team colours. The eagle looks nicely done. I think this is a massive improvement on their older logos. So for Nick from Australia's West Coast team, I'm going to put them in the good logo section. Now we come to our next team, Essendon, or their nickname known as the Bombers. This club is the equal second most successful team in AFL VFL history with 16 premierships, tied with Carlton. They play in red and black. So as you can see here with the logo, it's got a nice red and black colour. And it's got Essendon in big capital letters, which I like. And then it's got the bomber. And the bomber looks alright, I don't mind it. I also like the shape of the logo as well. And yeah, I've never minded Essendon as a club. I've always thought that they're all right. So I'm going to put Essendon's logo in the good section. Now we come to my team, Richmond. So Richmond are the defending premiers at the moment. I never thought I'd ever see that. Because when I started going for them, Richmond were the wooden spooners. This is their newer logo. It came out in 2011. So as you can see here, it's got Richmond, it's got established 1885, which I like. The tiger looks pretty cool. I like the colour of the logo itself, how it's all done out. You got the black and the yellow there. I don't think it's as good as their previous logo. They had this really, really good logo beforehand, where it had a tiger similar to the Belmain tiger logo. And it looked really smashing. I think they should have kept that. But for some reason they decided to change the logo and go for this one. If they kept the old tiger, I would have put it in the best. But because of this tiger, I'm going to put it in the good. I think it's still a good logo, but it's not the best logo. And now we come to the Sydney Swans. So Sydney Swans, originally they were known as South Melbourne, and then they ended up relocating to Sydney in the 1980s. They pretty much had the same logo for a very long time, Sydney. So you've got the swan there. You've got the Opera House, the outline of the Opera House. You've got the red V, which signifies South Melbourne. And you've got the lettering up the top in black, which says Sydney Swans. I don't think it's a bad logo. I don't think it's a great logo either. So I'm going to put it in the average. Now we come to the Gold Coast Suns, the current wooden spooners. The Gold Coast entered the competition in I think 2011 with GWS. They haven't been successful whatsoever. But looking at the logo, you've got the GC for the Gold Coast. You've got the Suns. Sorry, it says Un there because the S and the two S's have been cut off for some reason. But they play in I've never really liked the colours of the Gold Coast. They kind of look like a McDonald's team. They look like they're playing for McDonald's. They got the same colours as McDonald's. I think the GC could really just be. I reckon they could probably write it as Gold Coast. And the Suns thing, I think they've made the Suns thing too big for my liking. It's not a terrible logo. It's not average. It's not great. I'll put it in the needs improvement. I think they could really improve the logo of the Gold Coast. So now we come to Now we come to the Adelaide Crows. Adelaide. So they've won 2 premierships since they've come into the competition. They play with a blue coloured Guernsey, you could see, with the colours of the South Australian flag. Yellow, red is also incorporated in there. I've seen some of their older logos and I actually prefer those because it shows the whole body of the crow, and the crow kind of looks like it's swooping down on someone. This newer logo that they've gone for, as you can see, it's just like the head of the crow, and it kind of looks a bit like a cartoon character. I like the colouring of the actual names though, Adelaide and then Crows, because it's got the colours of South Australia in there, and then the blue of the crow also represents the colours of South Australia. I think that they could improve. I reckon that they could do a better drawing of the crow, so I'm going to put it in needs improvement. Now we come to Port Adelaide, or as their nickname is known as the Power. So for those of you that don't know, Port Adelaide, they're actually one of the oldest clubs in Australia. They were founded in 1870, but it wasn't until the 90s that they were admitted into the competition. They have a fierce rivalry with Adelaide Crows, as you'd probably imagine. This is not their current logo. This is their older logo, because this year they're celebrating their 150th anniversary, so they got a logo for that. But as you can see with this one, they've got the colours of Port Adelaide, which is black and white, and then they've got the teal bit in there, and then they've got Power, and then they've got the lightning bolt. I don't like the fact that it doesn't say Port Adelaide, it just says Power. So the Power could be from anywhere, couldn't it? If you were from outside of Australia or whatever. I don't think it's a good logo. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's a logo that could probably need some improvement. I reckon that they could do better with this logo, so it's going to go in needs improvement. The next logo is the Fremantle Dockers, or their nickname's Frio. So looking at this logo, you can see when they were established, 1994, it's got the team colours there, purple. You've got the name, Fremantle Dockers. You've got the anvil, or anchor, sorry, anvil. Why would I fucking say anvil? It's an anchor. So you got the anchor there, you've got the D in the middle of the anchor. It's not a bad logo, actually. I think it's all right. It's not the greatest logo, but I think if you're a Fremantle supporter, you'd be kind of happy with this logo. So I'm going to put it in average. Yeah, I think it's middle of the road. Now we come to the Brisbane Lions. So if you don't know, the Brisbane Lions are a merger between Brisbane Bears and Fitzroy. So Brisbane kept their name, obviously, and then they incorporated the Lions. I've never been a fan of the Brisbane Lions logo, especially this one. This one's been called the Paddle Pop logo, because the lion kind of looks like the Paddle Pop lion. I think the Brisbane Lions can really improve with their logo. I think if I was in charge of the club, what I'd do is I'd use the Fitzroy lion, that lion that Fitzroy had on their logo, and use that and just put Brisbane on top. I think they can do better with the lion. I don't mind the colouring of the Brisbane or the Lions, actually, the lettering sound, but I think they can do better with the lion. This lion kind of looks like the Paddle Pop lion. So I'm going to put it in needs improvement. And now we come to one of the oldest clubs and the second most, well, the equally most successful club in VFL AFL history. Carlton. So Carlton have pretty much had the same logo since the beginning, which is a CFC, and they kind of crossed over each other. But with this particular logo, they've also put like a wreath on top, and you've got when they were founded, and then there's a message in Latin underneath, which I quite like. And it's got the team colours, which is navy blue. And yeah, I've always really liked the Carlton logo. It's one of the oldest and it's one of the best logos. So just hang on with me for a moment. We're going to go back. Sorry. This thing is a pain. This thing is a pain to do, like this on your Xbox. You really need a computer or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to put this in the best. There you go, finally. Finally I managed to put it in the best. Now we come to one of the oldest clubs in the VFL and EFL, and one of the most successful clubs in the history of the game. They've won 15 premierships. They're also our Lasses team, Alison Yvette's, and NRL Vids, Lorenzo's team, Collinwood. So with this logo, I love the magpie, as you can see. They've had a couple of variations of this logo. The other logos had the Collinwood flag, and they also had the Australian flag in there as well. This one though, they've removed that and they've just got 1892 and the magpie. I think it's really well done, this logo. I like the magpie, as I said. I like the colours. I like the reference to when they were actually founded. So I'm going to put Collingwood in the best, along with their arch rivals Carlton. Now we come to BKR's team, Geelong. So Geelong's had a couple of variations of this logo in the past. They've had a couple of logos where they have the cat in full view, and then they've had others where they just have kind of like the face of the cat. It's got the team colours, and it's got like the stripes that they wear on the Guernsey as well. It's got Geelong, it's got cats. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad logo. I don't think it's good either. I'm going to put it in average. I mean, it's not a bad logo. If you're a Geelong supporter, I'd suppose you'd be happy with it. Now we come to one of the newest clubs in the league, runners-up from last year, the Greater Western Sydney Giants, or GWS. Their inaugural coach said that, Kevin Sheedy said that you can't have a club just called GWS because no club that's abbreviated can be successful. And I'm thinking, haven't you ever heard of PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, or PSV Eindhoven? They've got abbreviated names. So with this one, it's kind of just like, if we drag it over here, it's just this orange. It kind of looks like a C. It doesn't look like a G. It looks like a C. Like the Greater Western Sydney Cats or Crabs. We don't know. This one says Greater Western Sydney Giants. I would have liked to see the actual GWS lettering in there. And maybe a picture of a giant, maybe. This one, I know it. The first time I ever saw the logo, I went, it's shite, and they've never improved on it. So I think, unfortunately, this logo is going to go in the shite category. I'm sorry to all you GWS fans that may be watching. Now we come to Hawthorn. So Hawthorn's one of the league's most successful clubs. They've had the same logo for a few years now. As you can see, it's got the team colours in there, and it's got the hawk, and it just says Hawks. It doesn't say Hawthorn. I don't like that. As I said in the NRL logo video, I like to see clubs have their team name in the logo. I mean, the hawk's well drawn, and the logo itself is okay, but I think they can do better, Hawthorn. So this is going to go in the needs improvement section. Now we come to Melbourne. So I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, Melbourne's the oldest club in Australia when it comes to the AFL, VFL. They're also one of the most successful clubs. Going through a bit of a drought at the moment. I think it's coming up to 54 year for them now. But as you can see, with this logo, they got the team colours, they got Melbourne, big capital letters. They've got the older version of the logo inside this current version, which is the M, the F and the C crossing over. This one doesn't have the pitchfork or anything referencing the demon, which is their nickname, which I don't kind of mind. I actually really like this logo. I like the colour and I like the way it's laid out. I think if you were a Melbourne supporter, you'd be happy with this logo, so I'm going to put it in the good. Yeah, I like Melbourne's logo. Now we come to North Melbourne, and their nicknames are either the Shinboners or the Kangaroos. And they've had a couple of variations of the kangaroo in the past. As you can see with this one here, this is their brand new logo. They've kind of got rid of the full-bodied kangaroo, and they've just got the head of the kangaroo in there. And the kangaroo looks pretty menacing. It looks pretty badass. It kind of looks like a kangaroo that would probably kick your head off. Like, I like the fact how it's got North in big capital letters in Melbourne. Doesn't show when they're established or out like that. I like the colouring. For me though, I prefer the old North Melbourne logo where it shows the full kangaroo. But it's a decent logo. I wouldn't say it's great and I wouldn't say it's bad. When I first saw it, I wasn't particularly happy with it, but it's kind of grown on me. And I forgot to mention, North Melbourne's also the Bundy Chicks team, so make sure you go subscribe to the Bundy Chick. Now we come to St Kilda's logo. So St Kilda's had pretty much the same logo for years now, I think. I don't think they've ever really changed their logo. They're also the least successful club in the AFL, and they've won 27 wooden spoons. It hasn't been a great time for St Kilda in their history, but they're one of the oldest clubs. Yeah, I like this logo. It's got the shield, it's got the colours, it's got the Latin in there, it's got the St, and then it's got the KFC, the St Kilda Football Club. Yeah, I quite like this logo. Yeah, I think if you're a St Kilda fan, even though your club's not doing great. See, it's just done it again. Why does it do that? So I'm gonna put stop. I swear down, this is so frustrating, this. I'm sorry for the low budget video, everyone, but this is the best I can do at the moment. But anyway, we're going to get there. Get up there. It's going in the good. There you go. St Kilda, you're finally in the good. And now we come to the last team, which is Entertain House's team. The Western Bulldogs, or as they're still known legally as the Footscray Football Club. They won the Premiership about 4 years ago now, 2016, breaking that long drought. As you can see with the logo, it's got Western Bulldogs. It's got the bulldog there. It's got the colours in the left hand side of the crest, blue, red, and white. I like the way that the bulldog's drawn. Looks pretty fierce. It's a big improvement on the older bulldog logo that they had in the early 2000s. I wouldn't say it's as good as the Footscray logo that they had back in the 1980s, 1990s, but I think this one's alright. I don't mind this one. I think it's only one of the recent ones that they've done. So I'm going to put the Western Bulldogs or as Footscray as they're known, I'm going to put them in the, get down there, I'm going to put it in the good category. So, there you have it. That's my video on the AFL logos. So, the best logos I've gone for are Carlton and Collinwood. The good, West Coast, Essendon, Richmond, St Kilda and Western Bulldogs Footscray. Average, Sydney, Geelong, Melbourne, North Melbourne, Hawthorn, Fremantle. Needs improvement, Adelaide, Port Adelaide, Brisbane and Gold Coast. And shite is Greater Western Sydney. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you really did, give it a share. I'll be making more videos in the future. Stay tuned for that. I think the next video I'm going to be doing is my greatest ever Cronulla Sutherland team from 1967 to 2019. So stay tuned for that one. And if you got some spare time, go over to Rugby League History. That's my Facebook page. I'll put a link in the description below. So if you got some spare time, go check it out. But as always, take care of yourselves, everyone. And I'll catch us all later. Ta-ra.